Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the week of October 3rd through October 7th, where we will look at our individual stocks that we want to put on our watch list to consider trading during this week. So again, thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for October 3rd through October 7th. And we'll get started looking at our top swing trading stocks to watch for this week. So if you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled Why You Shouldn't Fear October, we would highly recommend that you view that game plan, as well as that contains our market analysis, our trading ideas, our strategies on why you shouldn't fear October. And we're going to apply all of that information in our stock picks to put on our watch list for this week. This is our Google document containing our notes for our weekly trading game plan, and there you should be able to find a direct link to this Google document in the description box below. Also to the Google Drive folder that contains many of our previous weekly trading game plan notes. It's publicly accessible, so it contains all the links to the videos, tools, etc. that we reference. So hopefully that helps as well. Good morning, Nagam. Thank you for joining us for the live stream. David Spielvogel, thank you for joining us. Glad to see you both again in the chat. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you all are doing well and trading is going well for you. So first, I'll very quickly talk about trades that we made last week. We talked about yesterday. It's been choppy. It's been a rough week. The market's been down. We've been in a bear market. We talked about a lot of that last week. We've been talking about that. We were looking to go long big in index fund initially at the June low. So you can see we were initially long VTI at the June low on the 26th. And then you'll see we got stopped out on the 27th when it turned back down. And then you'll see we got back in late on Friday. I put another buy in, another set of big buys in at the 52-week low at 180, just a cent above the 52-week low. And that triggered late on Friday while I was away from the desk, which is fine. That's how I typically do it. That's why the swing trading strategy is great if you're working a job, full-time job, if you're in school during the day, etc. Our swing trading strategy works just fine. We set our buys at a price that we're happy with, and then we let them go. Same thing with our stop losses. We trail them. And then if we're on the beach, away from the desk, whatever, it triggers, and that's fine. Also, you can see our strategy of why we're choosing VTI versus VOO or VT as our index fund of choice for long-term investments, long-term swing trades. There's a video where we did some analysis of VOO versus VTI versus VT, and we prefer VTI. So you'll see that's the one we typically use for our long-term investments or our long-term swing trades while we wait for the market to swing back up. So I'll briefly look at that in Webull, show you our VTI trade. Again, we got in at about 180, 168 on the 26th, near this bottom. That was the June low. So we were sitting at the June low, waiting for it to test that. It did. We got in. It went up a little bit, and then you could see the next day it dumped. So we got stopped out. Very small loss, but we didn't want the market to, really crash on us, so we stopped out there. And then I put the order back in at 180.01, and you can see that triggered late on Friday. So now we're in at that 52-week low in BTI, and I'm pretty happy with that price. I think I'll probably just let it run, unless the market really is going to crash. But I don't want to be too aggressive with my stops. I can wait for this to swing back up for over the long term. And again, that's why we prefer VTI. If you're doing dollar cost averaging, you don't want to actively trade. We recommend active trading. We're not as big in totally passive trading, but if that's your method of choice, we prefer VTI, so we hope that all helps. Good morning also, Alan Krentz and Walter Lyons. Glad to see you both in the chat as well. Again, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I'll try to address them as I'm able. Also, just a reminder, we do post when we make a trade, when we get stopped out, etc. We post those as soon as possible via notification to our Patreons. If you'd like to support us and get these real-time trade alerts via our Patreon, you can find the link in the description box below, also in these notes, etc., on our YouTube channel, etc. And also, we have a channel that's available to our Patreons in our Discord. And I'll show you those channels real quickly. So we also have alerts I set up in Thinkorswim, and often those get triggered first. And we get notified, it gets posted in the Thinkorswim alerts channel. And then if we actually make that trade, so you can see that was triggered about 3:51. I was not at my desk, and I came back and said, yep, our buys had actually triggered. So I updated that posting and said, yep, our longs have been triggered, so we're now long. If I'm making a trade that's not based on a Thinkorswim alert, then I'll post it in the trade alerts channel. And again, our Patreons get email notifications of these trade alerts as well. So if you're interested in getting our trade alerts, you can join our Patreon and have access to all that. Again, we're not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. We don't recommend anyone blindly following our trades or anyone's trades for that matter. But if you would like to see what we're doing, what trades we're making, you can follow us via the Patreon. Lessons learned, don't have anything specific right now, so we'll look at our watch list updates. I'll spin through the list. We have quite a few updates, and then we'll look at the charts in Webull. You'll see, all the markets hit their 52-week lows pretty much. We looked at that yesterday. It's unclear whether they're going to continue down or if we're going to get one of these bull rallies in the bear market. We're still in a bear market, so we're trading accordingly. But you'll see we're looking at a couple ETFs, and when we get to our ETF spreadsheet, we'll look at the risk-reward profiles for these and why I'm choosing these particular ETFs to watch and see if we can get an opportunity. Chances are these are going to be short-term swings, scalps. If we get one of those bull rallies and they try to push the indices up, we'll take a shot at them. If it turns back down, we'll scalp it off for profit, and then we'll buy it back lower, and we'll keep doing that until the market turns around. So Alan Krentz asked your thoughts on Credit Suisse. Let me see if I can put that one up on the as a listing. So he says, thoughts on Credit Suisse, hearing rumors they're in trouble. Would it be wise to be in USOI, SLVO? Yes, I have seen those articles that as a bank, they're having some issues, they're restructuring, etc. I don't think there's any significant risk of them becoming insolvent, going out of business. They've been around forever. I don't, I'm not concerned about USOI, SLVO, GLDI. We're in all three of those. They pay a very nice monthly dividend. So we're collecting those monthly dividends in all three of those right now. And it's a nice monthly income. So yeah, I'm not concerned about the solvencies of any of those three ETNs. I mean, we'll watch the news, and if it looks like there's an issue, then obviously we could get out of those. But good morning, Blind Trader. Glad to see you as well. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I was talking about the index ETFs. So the first one we're going to watch is FNGU, which is on the FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, etc. And we'll see, they've been beaten down recently. Apple got, some bad news. It went down. Obviously, Facebook's been beaten up. Netflix been beaten up. So we're looking for a rebound in those. And again, we'll look at the risk-reward profile and see why that's attractive. MP Materials, we had it in our bullpen last week. It got beaten down as well, so it looks attractive. We've done a previous due diligence video on MP Materials. You can access that via this link in the notes, or search for it on our YouTube channel and hear why we like MP Materials, why we're interested in that. Good morning, Mighty Soldier Trades. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you fared well through Ian as well. So, and Flip of the Shippa, thank you for joining us as well. Glad to see you guys all today. OPP, we looked at bonds yesterday. We talked about bonds being an alternative, that now there are real alternatives. There are reasonable alternatives to equities. This is a fixed income fund. You can see it pays a 18.9% interest. It pays quarterly. Again, it's a fixed income fund. It just went ex-dividend on the 15th. You can see it paid about 15 cents a share. It's been beaten down pretty severely as bonds have been beaten down. The fixed income market's been beaten down. And I think this popped up for a while on Friday, and I thought it was going to run away on me. I think we still have a shot at it. Again, bonds are getting beaten up until they get up to that 4% interest rate to match the Fed funds rate. So, but with nice, if you're looking for dividend stocks, the ETNs we talked about, USOI, GLDI, SOVO are great monthly dividends. We talked yesterday about REITs. We're in O, which is Realty Income. That also pays a nice monthly dividend. So if you're looking for dividend income at a rate that's beating inflation, those are some alternatives we talked about yesterday as well. So we'll take a look at OPP. Again, this is a fixed income bond ETF, so it gives you some diversity in the bonds. SOXL, we've been watching that as a potential turnaround in semiconductors. It's semiconductors pretty beat up. We're looking for a good bottom. If they try to run that up with the NASDAQ, with tech, again, that might be a good scalp play. The inverse of SOXL, if you want to try day trading, scalping, is SOXS. That's a short leveraged ETF on semiconductors, and you can scalp those, day trade those pretty profitably as well. We also talked yesterday about volatility. We looked at the VIX. The VIX never did really spike the way we thought it might, given the fear and the downturn in the markets, and even when the S&P was going down, the VIX was going down. The VIX is only sitting at 31.62 right now. And to get a true capitulation, we need it higher, So I have orders sitting out at the 52-week low of SVXY, which is the leverage short on the VIX. Most of you, if you've been around for a while, this is probably my favorite trade, to short the VIX when it spikes. And so I've got my orders sitting there, and we've got it on our watch list to see if we happen to get that spike in the VIX. We've also talked about uranium, and we've got a couple. We had some uranium plays. We moved UROY up to our watch list as it's the most attractive of the uranium plays. They've been running the uranium plays up and down with energy, and we talked about the sector rotation in and out of energy quite frequently. So we'll see if we can get a shot at some of these uranium plays. So I just check the chat. Flippa says Micron is somewhat holding up. Good for semiconductors. Yeah, the news, it's been mostly negative. Earnings is bad. Guidance is bad. They're saying demand. So there's been a lot of negativity in the semiconductors, and once it does bottom, I think there's an opportunity. That it'll bottom, and then we'll play. We've talked about semiconductors being a very cyclical commodity. So once it finally does bottom, then we'll play the swing back up. When it tops, we'll play the swing back down. So we talked about BTI. So we'll take a look at the charts of each of those now. Just a quick reminder as well, we also have a web page that's accessible to our Patreons that gets automatically updated every day with any changes to our watch list, any changes to our bullpen, has price targets, etc. So if you're interested in access to that daily updated watch list, if you join our Patreon, we'll get you access to that set of watch lists. And then if I make any changes during the day, we have another channel in our Discord with stock watch list updates. So if I make a change during the day, move somebody up from the bullpen, find some new stock that looks interesting, like you can see we added Generac on the 19th because that became interesting during the day. So if you want those intra-week updates to our watch list, again, you can join our Patreon and get access to those updates. So now we'll jump over to Webull. We'll go through the charts of each of our watch list items. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, one of the things we like is it's easy to maintain multiple watch lists in Webull. We also do most of our trading in Webull, and they're still offering their 12 free stocks. So if you're not already using Webull, here's a chance to get 12 free stocks, and you can see they can be valued up to $3,000. All you have to do is open an account. It's free to open the account, deposit any amount, even $1, and you can get up to 12 free stocks valued up to $3,000 each. So again, a good opportunity to take advantage of that if you're not already using Webull. So now we'll spin through these charts real quickly. I'm going to zoom it out a little bit so we can kind of see, FNGU looks like it may be bottoming. Again, that's on the FANG stocks. If that bottom holds that support, starts to swing back up, we would go long FNGU. MP, you can see it's been beaten down a little bit. We see, the bottom's 26-ish. I zoom out even farther, you can see where my price target really it broke previous support. So now I'm looking for it down in the 23 area. But if it does swing up again in the near term, we could take it a little higher. Here's that bond fund. This is a little bit choppy. You can see it's doesn't trade a lot. It's low volume. It's pretty choppy. If I zoom in a couple days, we'll see, Friday it started running up and then it pretty much dumped. So now we're seeing, where is the bottom? Where's the support level? You can see how choppy it is as well. So, I'd like to see a stable bottom, and then also with the bond rates, we want to see the bond prices stabilize and the bond yield stabilize around 4-ish, and then that would probably be our signal that's probably the near-term bottom on those. Here's SOXL. Again, it's making new 52-week lows. We're just looking for a stable bottom, swing back up, break the VWAP, and we go long. Again, plenty of day trade opportunities. You can see they run them up and then it plummets down. So if you want to play this, a very short time frame, SOXL up, SOXS down. You can swing these, scalp these on shorter time frames and, make good money as well. SVXY we talked about, I'm sitting at the 52-week low. So there's 4506. I'm sitting at 4507. If it just touches that, it'll hit our big buys, and then we'll be shorting the VIX again. TQQQ is the long on the NASDAQ. Same basic philosophy as we talked with FNGU. Is, they've pummeled the NASDAQ down, and we're just looking to see, where is the bottom? When does it swing back up? And again, when they try to, do one of these bull rallies, they'll try to run it for a couple days, and then, it'll plummet again. So we could catch one of these rallies, scalp it for a nice profit using TQQQ. The inverse of TQQQ is SQQQ. That's the short on the NASDAQ. So again, same theory as SOXL and FNGU. you can play it both ways. Use TQs up, SQs down, and do some nice day trading and scalping. So, and here's the uranium play. Again, you can see they actually spiked it down at the very last minute on Friday. I don't know what that was all about. But if we zoom in a little bit, we see that was really an anomaly. That spike down to 210. That's where I'd like it. That wasn't my order, so I'll wait for it to come back down there. Probably would have been good if it was my order, huh? Okay, now let me grab a drink a sec, and we'll talk about our bullpen stocks. Just a reminder, if you're new to our channel, concept of bullpen stocks are ones that we're not watching real time during the week, but we revisit them at the end of the day, see if their technical setup looks better. If so, we put them in the game, move them up to our real-time watch list, and then we have automation that runs against our real-time watch list and alerts us to potential buys that way. So. So the first one, okay, so I see a question by David Spielvogel. What are your thoughts on boil and cold right now? Okay, so let me see if I can throw your question up on the screen. We looked at nat gas yesterday, and it's sitting around 7 right now. Now, when we get to the ETF spreadsheet, we'll see the risk reward on both of them isn't bad. Natural gas has been trending down, so right now coal has been making us good bank lately. It's been up, X% for days running. Now, natural gas is very volatile. We have plenty of our fellow BeachBum traders that are very successful scalping with boil and cold. And again, on any given day, they'll run it up a couple percent, it'll come down a couple percent. So it's a good day trade, good scalp opportunity, and pretty much any time just due to the volatility. Now, again, lately the trend in natural gas has been down. So if you're trying to swing it for any period of time right now, cold would be the way to go until it bottoms and turns back up, and then go with boil. We're long cold. We've been long cold for quite a while. We're making, it's still underwater, that position, because we were a little early. But, we're holding on to our position in cold. I'm not ready to go into a long and boil yet till I see a good bottom, and then we'll talk about it in our game plan. So. I see Flip of the Shipper talking about AI and quantum computing. One of these days we'll talk about that. I'm not going to go there today, but I have history and background in those areas and interest in those areas. So our bullpen stocks, the first one is a theme that we'll talk about trade ideas going forward, is aluminum. I think I mentioned aluminum yesterday. I'll show you some other aluminum stocks and how to look at the aluminum stocks. The one I liked best, and I did some research, I'll show you in a minute, comparing several of these aluminum stocks, and I like Alcoa the best in terms of risk reward profile and current setup. So I'm putting the Alcoa on the bullpen as an aluminum play. And again, we talked about that yesterday, that aluminum's been beaten up, and we think there's a good opportunity for a swing back up in aluminum. Big lots, we've talked about big lots in the past. I thought maybe I'd done a due diligence video. I guess I just talked about it in the game plans before of why we like big lots. I probably need to do that due diligence video, capture those reasons why we think big lots is a good recession play, good turnaround play. So it has come down with the retail sector being beaten up. And so we're going to keep an eye on big lots and see if we'll get a chance to get back in. It had previously run away, so we'll see if we get a crack at big lots again. Same thing with DNN. DNN, we've got a couple uranium plays. We talked about, uranium. UROY is got the best setup right now, in my opinion. So the other two are D and N. And we've got NXE on our bullpen. That's another uranium play. And URG. And again, we moved UROI up to our main watch list. So those are the uranium plays we're kind of keeping an eye on. If they push energy down, sector rotation on energy, push uranium down with it, and might present some good opportunities in those areas. So. And flip of the ship says, you guys were talking about AI and robotics as a future thing, and I completely agree with you, and I could talk about that as well as automation. However, going into a recession, we have to look at profitable stocks that will survive a recession, where people will be investing money. And again, some of those areas are not profitable, so sorry, I'm trying to hide the comment and put up another one if I could. But yeah, again, we can look at those sectors one of these days, or maybe a separate whole topical video or something. Because again, that's a whole nother discussion. Generac, we've had that on the bullpen for a while. Obviously, it got run up during the hurricane. It's sell the news, then the hurricanes passed, so they ran it down. I think long term it's attractive, so we'll keep an eye. If it comes down again and stabilizes, I like Generac. Nail is, and I believe Walter or someone brought this one to our attention. This is a home builders ETF, and it's starting to look pretty attractive again as a longer term swing turnaround play. We talked about NXE. ONG is oil services, and when they've been pummeling energy, this guy came down, and again, I think it's may present an opportunity. I do have, again, concerns that it's low volume, illiquid, so I'm watching it. And we talked about OPP we put in the game. That's the bond fund, the fixed income bond fund. URG is uranium. UROI, we talked to, it's on our watch list. So now let's look at those charts. So again, you can see we made a lot of changes to our watch list, to our bullpen, things with the markets being beaten down. There's a lot of things that start to look potentially attractive, and it just requires a lot of time and effort to evaluate them. We don't want to get value traps. We want things that have potential in a recessionary environment, in a rising interest rate environment with a strong dollar. So a lot of considerations to take into account. So you can see here's Alcoa. It's a little above support level, but it's kind of looking attractive. It's got, nice range. It's come down a long way, particularly recently. So if it does achieve that support level, or even up above that S3 level, and start swinging back up, that could be attractive. Big Lots, you see it's come way down too. So again, if it swings back up, we would like that. And it does pay a dividend, small dividend, quarterly. DNN, we prefer around 91, 92, but anywhere around $1 is pretty good. See, it's got range up to about 140 or so. So not huge short term, but 40% will take. Generac, you see it ran up, and then there's the hurricane bump, and then they pushed it way down. So we'll see if it retests this bottom. If that holds, then that could be an attractive price. Nail, you can see I'd like it down around 19. It's coming down, had some volatility. NXC is another uranium. They're all going to kind of follow, but it's still sitting above where I'd kind of like it. Then there's this ONG, oil services. You can see how choppy it is. It's, kind of very low float, illiquid, so it chops around a lot. I'm a little hesitant about that choppiness. You could see it really gapped down the one day. So I'm not real sure about that guy. And then URG is another uranium. You see all the uraniums kind of look similar. And DNN and URG and what was it, NXE, they're sitting kind of above their support levels. So they need to, I'd like to see them come down a bit. And we'll keep an eye on UROY in our real-time watch list. So that's what we've got in our bullpen. We'll look at our ETF spreadsheet. Just another quick note, again, our Patreons have access to this ETF spreadsheet anytime. And everything else in a Patreon's folder in our Google Drive. So again, if you want real-time access to this ETF spreadsheet, I do make updates frequently when we find new ETFs, make changes. And if you're interested in using that, again, our Patreon's granted access to that spreadsheet. So just a note too, as I updated the end of day automation on that spreadsheet on the 26th, that now it automatically updates the support bottom, resistance top values based on whether they're below the 52-week low or great if the support or bottom's below the 52-week low. Then it updates it. Essentially, if the 52-week low is below support or bottom, it'll update automatically. If the resistance is above the 52-week high, I think, and which causes the risk return to go negative, then it will automatically update the support, resistance, and bottom and top values automatically, so that we don't show a negative risk-reward profile. So. And again, with the markets dumping the way they have been, there were a number of them that were showing a negative risk-reward profile. So I wanted to get an updated view. So hopefully that's still visible. If that's too small, let me know in the chat and I can zoom it up a little bit. We could see... and I think I put this in the trade ideas with aluminum. Another addition for aluminum is this JJU, which is an ETN based on aluminum. We could see the risk reward profile. It's starting to look pretty attractive. So I may need to reevaluate that and potentially put that in the watch list. We can see it's currently sitting a ways above support, so that's probably why I'm not watching that quite yet. So I'd like to see it come down near support a little closer, but it's very close to its 52-week low. So we'll see if that holds. So let's see, what else did we talk about, or what do we want to look at? If anyone has a particular category you want to look at, or a particular ETF, etc., let me know in the chat. So I looked at all the ones for the indices. So you can see the Dow, the risk reward's not currently great to longing the Dow. Looked at copper. Copper's looking somewhat attractive. If it comes down to about 20, we saw that in the futures. Yeah, Flippo, we talked about Credit Suisse and their ETNs, GLDI, SLBO, USOI. Someone previously, I think David Spielvogel, asked about concerns with Credit Suisse. And yeah, the company is having issues. I'm not terribly concerned about, their overall solvency, but we'll keep an eye on that. So energy, someone was asking about natural gas. So let's look at cold and boil. So you'll see here's boil. Again, it's pretty attractive, and so is cold. So again, both of them are currently attractive, but neither one of them is very close to a bottom or a support. So that's why I'm not looking for new long positions. But if you're day trading, scalping, either one is an option. It's a matter of momentum, right? So actually, okay, so here's some of the additions that I made to the spreadsheet. I showed you JJU, which is the aluminum guy. I added FNGU to the spreadsheet. So let's look at the risk reward on FNGU. So you can see it's got a risk reward of over 2 from support to resistance. It's very close to its 52-week low and to that support level. And it's got a real nice risk reward for a 52-week basis and a current basis. So again, that's why I picked FNGU. It's got a very nice risk reward profile right now, much better than the other indices. So if we look at the other indices real quick, I even looked at the Russell. Again, it's not even over 2, and it's not at its support level yet. Same thing with the S&P. I like SPXU, or it looks like there's some data issues there, or UPRO, but SPXU's got a better risk reward profile. But the 52 weeks not as good, and that's based on a support level of 12, and it's not really anywhere close to that. So I also added, since talking about momentum, I heard about this new ETF. Well, I guess it's not new. It was new to me. It's a momentum ETF called QMOM. It's a quantitative momentum ETF, which I thought was quite interesting. So I've added that to our spreadsheet as well. You see, it's currently got a pretty good risk reward. Overall, it's not all that great exciting, but bottom to top, it's pretty interesting. But I thought that was kind of interesting. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if it approaches support, and if the risk reward ever gets attractive, that'll allow us to trade momentum. So again, typically at the end of the day, just like I run queries to look for stocks that look like they're a good value, potential swings, I go through here. I'm looking for risk reward profiles that are all green across the board. Apply, whatever macro factors are going on, like emerging markets. I'm not terribly interested in right now. We talked about the nail home builders. We can see why that's attractive. So you can see that's got all 3 greens. It's reasonably close to support, but needs to come down. That's why it's in the bullpen. Needs to come down to support a little bit more, and then we would be more interested in nail. And then here's VTI. You can see VTI, VT, and then VOO is probably with the S&P. So there's VOO. Again, that's 1.23, 1.34, VTI, 1.36, 1.36. So they're pretty comparable. Again, in that video, you'll hear the reasons why. A VTI is a total market index. It's not in VT. Our VOO is just on the S&P, so we like VTI better. And you can see its risk reward profile they're all comparable, but it's maybe a little better than the total world index. And then here's SVXY. You can see it's sitting a little bit above the bottom. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on shopping lists. Same things we've been talking about apply. Cull your shopping list, based on a rising interest rate environment, a strong dollar environment, recessionary environment. Make sure anything you're going to buy is going to be good for making it through the recession, making it through rising interest rates, etc. Piece of news very quickly is I was notified you can now apply for futures trading and E-Trade, even in a retirement account, so like a Roth IRA or an IRA, etc. So I have applied for futures trading in our E-Trade retirement account. So we have Roth IRAs in E-Trade, and so I've applied for futures trading in both of those. I haven't heard back from them yet. As I learn more, I'll share that information with you. But I found that very interesting. I'm interested in trading futures, and we'll see what they offer in terms of futures trading and E-Trade. So, Alan Krentz asked, with the Bank of England buying England bonds, thoughts? Well, it propped up the pound, right? It propped up the British pound. Caused the dollar, to recede from its highs a little bit. You're going to see, more, I shouldn't call it manipulation, but whatever you want to say, is people adjusting their currency, and we're going to see more volatility in the Forex market and the currencies based on these actions. They said they were going to tax cut, so they're printing money, and then so it crashed the pound. So then they came out and said, well, we're going to buy as many bonds as we need to prop up the British pound. So that obviously affected other currencies. So again, I think we're going to see more of that as more countries either, raise interest rates. We've got some people tightening, some people loosening. China and Japan, Japan tighten, China's easing. Britain's doing a little bit, of both. So it'll be an interesting time. It's an interesting time to trade, and that's good. What is it, a Chinese proverb or something? May you live in interesting times. So I think we have the benefit of that. We're living in interesting times. And what that does is there's plenty of opportunities to make money trading, right? It's just a matter of finding where's the opportunity today. What's going up, what's going down. We know how to long and short these various commodities and currencies, etc., even just with ETFs without, having to pay for shorting individual stocks, etc. So opportunities every day. So I talked about aluminum. I wanted to just quickly show you. Last week, I think we looked at uranium and how to find that in FinBiz. I'm just going to click on this link, and then I'll show you how I got to this link. So here's a set of aluminum stocks. We can see there's only 4 in this list. You can see they've all pretty much come down. So then it was a matter of looking at their risk reward profiles to see which ones were better, also to make sure that they're profitable. So you can see KALU, PE is a dash, so it's not profitable. So scratch that one off the list right away. So how I got this list is I just went to the groups and then went to industry, because I knew we'd talked about aluminum. We've seen it's near the bottom. So see how beaten down aluminum's been. I then could jump down and see, okay, for the whatever this is, the week, where it's sitting. So it's beaten down. For the month, it's at the bottom. So that tells me, okay, aluminum's severely beaten down. And it's a commodity, so it's going to cycle. So then to get that list of stocks, you just click on the bar for aluminum, and there you've got the same list of stocks that I just showed. And then you can, look at individual charts in FinViz. Just right click, open it in a new tab, so you can see, okay, this looks like it's sitting by support. It's profitable, not a lot of debt. So again, I can very quickly see, hey, this is something I want to look at. So then what I did is I just dropped this in our spreadsheet. You can see there's the 3 aluminum stocks. I looked at the charts, put in their support and bottoms and tops. I can see, okay, what's the risk reward profile look like? Both AA and CENX look pretty good. So I've got both those guys in my database. And then it was just a matter of, okay, from a technical analysis setup, who looks better? So, and both of them, are reasonable. So. Cool. And again, I've got other videos on how to use this groups, how to screen using the screener. You can look in more detail at their valuation, their financials, etc. If you're looking for a dividend, which ones pay the dividends, you can filter down based on what your criteria are from there. Alan Krantz says, with Nord Stream down now, winter coming, the price of energy. Yeah, you would think that energy prices would be going up, and they probably will at some point, but we've seen both oil and natural gas. When they started the downtrend, they've been headed down for a while. Oil now, I think if I look, it's probably sitting below 80 still. Natural gas was below 70. Yep, oil is right now, WTI is at 79.74. Natural gas is at 682. So, they've been in a downtrend, but hopefully that'll give us an opportunity, because if they'll bottom out, and I'd love to swing them along going into the winter. And we'll see if we get that opportunity. So a question that T. Alice asked in a DM to me, and I believe this is Nug M. Hopefully she's still around. She asked about India. Do I think there will be opportunities in India? And I kind of promised I would address that further in this trading game plan. And I really haven't looked at individual Indian stocks, but I'll show you again how we can look at that real quickly in FinViz. I had been following INDL previous to the Russia invasion in Ukraine, and what we'll see, I'll look at that. We'll look at INDL in the spreadsheet and in FinViz. It's just not very attractive right now. We'll see it kind of fell off a cliff recently. And also there's a number of global factors, and I wanted to talk about those just very briefly here. When Russia invaded Ukraine, India has been and is probably still currently buying a lot of Russian oil at a discount. And there was some talk of potential sanctions because of that. And I think that's probably still on the table. And that's one concern. I wouldn't I wouldn't want to get caught in Indian stock that got halted due to sanctions like the Russian stocks did. Also, I heard India stopped exporting rice. So another, essentially the global tensions with a lot of countries is more tense nowadays. And India, where they are in geography, they're sitting next to Russia. They're sitting very close to China. There's issues they can't really make either of those other global players irate. How's that? Trying to be politically diplomatic at best. So I'm concerned about those global factors since Russia invaded Ukraine. So again, that's why I really haven't even considered it, haven't looked at Indian stocks lately. But I'll show you first how to look at Indian stocks in FinViz, and then we'll also look at INDL. So same way as on the Groups tab in FinViz, if you select by country, you can see U.S. listed stocks by country. So then we can just do a find for India. And again, we can see India's up. It was up on Friday. So we see there's 12 stocks, individual Indian stocks. So if you did want to look into any of those stocks, again, you can, do further screening on them. If you want ones that are just profitable, you could, select PE greater than 0. So again, we have other videos on how to, find profitable stocks, cheap profitable stocks, etc. So now we're down to 8. We see what sectors they're in. So again, if you're interested in pursuing this, that's a way to do it. So I hope that helps. Again, because of the global concerns, also just the deglobalization issues that, there's a lot of talk about deglobalization, onshoring because of supply chain issues, etc. So, I don't know how well some of the Indian stocks, some of them are software, etc., how that will impact them. And without having a better feel for some of those companies, I'm a little hesitant to pursue them. So there's plenty of other opportunities, in my humble opinion. Again, we were interested in INDL back in before the Russian invasion because it had people were excited about India as a potential growth opportunity, and you can see, it had a pretty decent, not too or better like I would like to see, but it had a decent risk reward profile. If we look at it in FinViz, we'll see it kind of recently. It was running up for a while. It ran up for a while, and now it's been in pretty steep decline since September. We see earlier this year is when we were watching it, and it was running up, and ever since early, I guess this October 2021 topped out. Early 22 topped out. It's been in decline. Then you see it kind of fell off a cliff recently. So I'd want it to come quite a bit down before I'd even consider it at this time. So I hope that answers the questions and about Indian stocks, and also gives you ways, if you're interested in those, gives you some tools that you can use to pursue them in more detail. Again, if INDL pops up in our spreadsheet as having an attractive risk reward, we might consider it if the global situation improves and the risks of sanctions, etc., decrease. So does anyone else have any other questions, any other stocks you'd like to look at, any other ETFs you'd like me to look at before I wrap up? You can always ask those questions in the Discord like T. Alice did. Unless it's a personal question, I would recommend posting it in the public Discord and the Beach Party channel and the appropriate trading style channel or the appropriate asset class channel, so others can provide their input as well. So there are other traders that are have more information, more focus on some of these areas than I do, have more experience in some of these areas, particularly in some of the trading styles. We're mostly swing trading, so there are probably better day traders out there than I am. When I get approved for futures, I'm thinking orange juice. Yeah, I had always wanted to trade orange juice. I saw a run up and then a while back. Also commodities, although that's the Forex market, so I probably wouldn't be able to do that. But commodities, I'm interested. So we'll see how that pans out. So again, our Discord's free to join. You can participate in all these different asset class channels, all the different trading style channels, the public main channels, Beach Party, etc. So join us in our Discord. You'll find the invite in the description box below. Again, free to join. We welcome and invite and encourage your active participation. So if there are any further questions, again, you can ask further questions in the Discord, in the comments below this video. We have a Facebook group. You can always contact us via social media. All of our social media sites, link to our Discord, etc., on our homepage under the links section. Our homepage is beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. And again, here's links to all our social media, all the trading platform, all the trading tools we use, additional resources. Here's our Discord server, some other Discord servers we hang out in, etc. So it's whenever I find a link that I think will be useful to me and our fellow BeachBum traders, I will add them to that link section to let you know that it's available. I see a quick question about PBR, Brazilian oil with a good dividend. I'll look at that quickly for Ellen. Okay, so it looks kind of, it's in the middle, kind of high. Looks like it's broken its trend line recently. Yeah, pays a very high dividend. That seems excessively high. I would question that, and probably we'd want to do due diligence on them to find out. Yeah, Petrobras, I've heard of them. So it probably warrants due diligence. Again, that dividend is so high that I would question it. But they're showing good income, etc. Debt's a little high, which is terribly atypical. Again, I'm not sure okay, so we've got elections, so I would want to know more about what's going on there. Are they at any risk? Are there any political risks, etc.? It would warrant more due diligence, I think, before I would jump at it. And also, it's sitting kind of high relative to risk reward. So it's sitting at 12. It's only gone up to 16, down to maybe 10. So you got a $2 risk, a $4 reward. 2 to 1, but 52-week range is 8, so it's a little bit more risk there. So yeah, it might warrant more due diligence if you really wanted to pursue that. And again, I think that dividend is questionable. So I hope that helps. So, okay, I'm going to wrap up. Again, if you have any other questions, you want me to look at any other stocks, if you'd like to request a due diligence video on a particular company, stock, etc., you can post that in the Discord as a comment. Hit us up on social media, etc. So we'll try to answer as best we can. Again, no reason to fear October. Please go see our part 1 on why you shouldn't fear October, trading strategies to apply both this weekend going forward. So we wish you the best of luck. We hope you have great success during this trading week of October 3rd through October 7th. And we look forward to seeing you all in the Discord as well. So if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we hope that you will choose to do so. We hope that you like this content and hit the thumbs up button for us so that the YouTube algorithm will share it with more of your traders around the world. We hope that you will share and invite more of your fellow traders to join us in our BeachBum trading community and in our Discord for everyone's mutual benefit. And please hit the bell icon so we will be releasing additional videos during the week on various due diligence, various educational videos, etc. So make sure you hit the bell icon so you're notified when we release that additional content. So have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great trading week, and we'll see you all on the trading floor. Bye.